Has the school year been anything but ordinary for you so far? If so, rest assured you are not the only one. Hi, it's Martin, and here's a message for all my fellow dads out there, but to be honest, any parent or guardian. Because I don't know about you, but this first 3 weeks of the school year have been anything other than ordinary. And it's found it really difficult to get into that new routine, that new groove, that new flow that we need at this time. Because it's such a culture shock coming from the summer holidays. So the messages I've sent over the last few weeks has been about establishing that new routine. But, oh man, it's been difficult, right? And I know that having spoken to other dads, other parents, I'm not the only one. So it kind of seems like the universe wants me to send out this message because maybe this is you too. And I don't want you feeling bad or feeling like this is a failure on your part or that you're the only one, because you're not. I've sent out these messages about, it's about establishing your routine at the start of the holidays. Because we've got the start of the school year, because we've got so much more to do, to think about, to organise. And so establishing a routine, a daily routine, is really important. It's always important. But I sent a message in that first week, if you saw it. I said my youngest went to school on the Tuesday, my eldest went to school on the Thursday, my youngest went straight into a 3-day residential. Then the following week, that week too, all the clubs started coming in, and also the clubs that aren't school clubs but run to the school year. So I don't know, like dancing clubs, sports clubs, scouting. So those started kicking in as well. Plus parents' evenings and parent information evenings, plus a gazillion trip letters. and all amongst this, obviously we had the news of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and there was Monday where it was all the funeral days. It's not like, everyone has a day off and goes to the beach. It was a very different day. And then there was obviously some stuff, because all of that is it happens kind of to us. I'm very much a life happens for us, not to us kind of guy. But, stuff happens, and then there might be stuff that you've committed to. So for me, 5 out of 4 of the previous days have been spent in events. So I spent 3 days in a 3-day World Summit, the Mastermind World Summit with my mentors, Tony Robbins, Dean Graciosi. We had amazing speakers like Brendan Bouchard and Trent Shelton. It was incredible. But that wasn't finishing until between midnight and 2 a.m. So those are full-on days that obviously needed to organise around, the family. And then I went to an in-person event as well, which again was amazing, but again required organisation and was different to the norm. These were like one-offs. This isn't the kind of routine that you establish on that daily basis. So there's been a lot of stuff happening, and then a lot of stuff that might commit to. So that's just like a flavour of like my first 3 weeks, and I find it really difficult to get into that beautiful routine that we so dearly need. So if it's you, rest assured it's not just you. So if I wanted to give you any additional kind of thoughts on this, is even when things seem a little crazy and they aren't quite going to plan, and I got to admit, I'm looking at next week thinking, you know what, unless something comes completely left field, it looks like that might be a more stable week, so we might really hit the road running next week. I think there's a good opportunity to really establish that consistency, that consistent routine. But even if that's still not the case for you, you can still build in things into your routine that you want to improve on, that you might want to include. Despite the last few weeks, there are a couple of things that I definitely wanted to include in the daily routine for me, personally. And although it's not been as consistent as I would have liked because of all these other things that have come in, I have made a point of doing them, and I've done more of them than I would have if I hadn't. And next week it's going to be far more consistent. So there is still an opportunity to go, right, what are the things I want to include in my routine? What are the things that I wanted to improve on? And if we've been in previous school years and you've been stressed and overwhelmed, frustrated, exhausted because of the work, or frustrated that you're not spending the quality time with your family, or the mornings are a real rush and really stressful, or whatever it might be, now is still the time to reflect on that and say, well, what do I want to do differently? Because I kind of want to feel different to what I did last year. because it was pretty stressful or overwhelming or exhausting, there are still things that you can now think about and incorporate, even if it's not ideal, because let's be honest, nothing's ever ideal. So I would encourage you to still step back and go, right, well, what are the things I wanted to improve on? What could I do? What small steps can I make? And as things settle down, you'll be able to focus on those more consistently. So I'm wishing you well. I hope this message finds you well. And remember, if it does feel a little bit all over the place right now, you're not alone. Things will settle down. You will find your groove. And like I say, I'm wishing you well. And if you need my support on anything like this, then just let me know. I'm here to support. I've got so many other things I want to share with you and support you on. But right now, that main message is, you know what? It feels a bit much at the moment, and it's about just establishing that routine. So if it's not quite there, it's okay. You're not the only one. One step at a time, one day at a time, and just have a little think about those things that you might be able to incorporate. That's going to make things feel a heck of a lot better than maybe they have done in the past. I look forward to speaking with you soon, and take care. Have a great weekend. Have a great next week. Speak to you again.